I have made more money out of gold than all the great train robbers put together.
You still thinking about?
It's a lovely vault, that.
If I can round up the right people...
What kind of people?
Go on, son.
Hi everyone, this is Camila Sayers for the Fan Carpet, and we are at the premiere of King of Thieves.
What do you think the appeal is lately with British heist films at the moment, in your opinion?
Well, it's because there's so much, these great big movies, you know, Star Wars and everything, which are massive. And what you come back to thrillers about real people. You know, we're not wearing plastic armour or something, and we're not, you know, we're not even Batman, you know. We're even less than that. We're just real people. And the beauty of this film, I think, as it's turned out, is that the sort of race, Cockneys, and they're all old. They were so old. I mean, Brian, who I play, was 73.
So obviously you're in this massive British heist film now at the moment, but I'm guessing for you as an actor, the meaty bit was your character. Without giving too much away, it goes through a lot of twists and turns. So what was the process like of getting into that character, obviously based in reality?
Yeah, well, you know, Basil's the one guy that we don't know that much about because he, as of yet, as far as we know, hasn't been caught. And so we got to invent a little bit. And the challenge, I think, really in terms of figuring out who this guy was that's a Tom Courtenay standing right there. I still can't get over it. The challenge was figuring out why was someone who was this much younger than these other guys, why was he involved with them? What was it about him that made him invaluable to them? But also, why was he not working with younger criminals of his own age? And so we were trying to find a kind of a balance between someone who was in some ways very capable, because he had to be, because he dealt with the alarm systems and all that, but also someone who was a little bit socially awkward, which would explain why he didn't have any other mates. Yeah. I don't know if any of that is true based on the real Basil, but maybe we'll find out something.
I'm the getaway car, and I'm sort of a guardian angel. I don't go down the vault, and I'm rather two-faced and not a very nice person altogether. But
that's
quite funny.
Exactly, that two-facedness makes for quite good humour in the movie.
Yes, that's
so
what
when
drew me to it. Yes.
So when you're dealing with a character, obviously grounded in real life, does your process change as an actor at all? And how was it doing? Did you do any research, anything different?
No, I did no research at all. All my research was in learning the lines. Yeah. That's the best thing, because they were very nice, funny lines. Yeah. And that was the basis of my research.
I think he was quite nasty, but he kept his nastiness in check. But he's probably just getting a bit too old now to be nasty. I think maybe in his youth he had been a little bit more nasty than he is now. But I think, you know, get older and wiser and not quite so nasty as you get older.
What was the atmosphere like on set? Obviously such a dream cast to work with.
Well, they're all a bit limited compared to me, you know. They're all a bit one note. So I gave them some acting tips, and they said I gave them some acting tips. And now they're much more rounded, much better performers as a result. But no, it was great.
Oh, well, it was very easy, because although it was based on reality, I wasn't allowed to see him and speak to him. And so I never knew him, but I was allowed
to move on, Michael. For God's sake, some of us have got the film to see tonight.
That's his impersonation of me. He talks like that. That's what. I'm sorry. I've got to go. That's my...
Have a lovely evening.
People know that.
Thank you so much for that lovely impression. That was fantastic.
I mean, I know you was just talking to Michael, but I thought I'd just come over and clarify what he said, because I don't know that he got it exactly right, but I'm here now to do it for him. Anyway, that's enough, Michael. Enough, Michael, impressions.
So obviously we've got such a lovely atmosphere. You've got many, many admirers here, many admirers of the film. What was it like working on a film like this that obviously is fictional and is humorous, but is based in reality?
Fictional.
Sorry.
Well, it is.
I said fictional and then I said based on reality.
That's true.
So let's get it wrong.
Fictional reality, which I suppose, you know, which is most people's lives, I suppose. We all have a bit of fictional reality in our lives, don't we? And yeah, look, it's a fictional account of a real event, and you know, we don't know what actually went on, you know, between the guys and what went on while they were there doing it. But it's such an audacious plot, you know, you couldn't make it up. And you know, people enjoy a caper, and especially a caper where nobody gets physically hurt. So you can argue about the morality of it, whether you should do it or not, but because in this case, you know, the protagonists were old, or older than you would normally expect to do something like that, and it was such an audacious plot.
Yeah.
It is a you know, compelling story. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And I think it's compelling because it obviously has grittiness and it obviously has the heist element to it, but also has such lovely themes as well, such as friendship, age, that kind of thing, and that all plays into it.
Well, I think you know, Mr. Micklewhite, Mr. Caine, is quite extraordinary in it. Really, he does. You know, you see a picture of a man who's sort of coming to the end of his, you know, virile life, if you like. You know what I mean? And it's like, I know it's a cliche that like one last job, but in this case, you know, it is really, and he's a lonely man, really. You know, he's sort of losing his powers, and I think Michael does a very good job. He does it, you know, it's a great performance.
Everything about it was fun, yeah. And we knew the story, which is a cracking story. When it happened, I thought they were going to make a great film of this, and I hope I'm in it. And so when the offer came through, I'd already decided, so it was an easy one. And then the working title and the director, James Marsh, and the writer, Joe Cranmer, the dream combination, really. And then with this cast, easy to do. You know, to be working with Tom Courtenay and Michael Caine, that was my childhood dream. You know, I couldn't imagine it at all. But brilliant.
And obviously you got to work with a dream cast in this movie.
Yes.
Anyone would like to work with them. What was that like on set?
Well, we had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, a lot of sitting around, making fun of one another. So it was a very enjoyable job altogether.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah, I think older people are always underestimated by younger people, but we don't worry about it because we know we're all right.
It makes a change these days, I can tell you, to be the youngest. Because me and Charlie Higston these days, whenever we do something, we look around and think, blimey, we are the oldest people here.
Somebody was saying it's a bit like Del Boy, really. You know, they get it wrong, don't they? And that's what makes it interesting, really, and funny. You know, how they get it wrong. So there's a tension there and a humour, and it's all. There's always a lot of when there's so much money at stake. It always makes for an interesting drama. There's a lot of tension, but also out of the tension comes the humour. You know, it's great.
Yeah, I was probably funnier, you know, off camera than I was on, really. I think I'm sure that's my role, really. I don't think they wanted me for the performance. They'd wheel me in, you know, sit me by the coffee machine and go, right, make them laugh. You know, so, yeah, I think I'm the fool. Yeah, get me in to play the fool. But no, it was a fantastic project to do, and great to work with all this lot. You know.
Well, without giving too much away, my character kind of gets pushed to one side during the aftermath, which is also really, for those moments, it was fun to play. But the real interesting stuff, I think, the kind of a real dangerous psychology games that are played between the characters happens between the other guys. So I'm excited to see that stuff on screen.
So obviously you worked on this film, which is full of twists and turns, full of themes like getting old, friendship, and obviously the grittiness of the crime genre. So how did you start when you were working on this movie? Where did you start with such?
Well, I didn't have the tough job of having to be there at the beginning. You know, I was very much kind of came in on the end to provide a song, and I think, you know, when you get the brief of this kind of thing, they give you the kind of mood they're looking for, and you know they really wanted. By the end of this film, you're very confused about how you feel about these people, because you don't really. It's what I found interesting is that you don't really root for them by the end, which is quite an interesting twist in itself, because actually they've eaten themselves. You know, there's like they've eaten themselves alive. So I found that I wanted to contribute something that would make you walk out the cinema with a spring in your step. And for that, the way I did that was I dug into my record collection and found an old 7-inch from Brazil I'd picked up, and based it off a sample of these drums and these congas, and I got the best musicians I know together in a room, and we jammed it out.
That's quite close to home, the Brazilian side. What sample was that? What record was that? I may or may not know it.
I don't think you'll know. It's called Soninha das Inas, from a kind of a slightly unknown Brazilian band. Yeah, but we kind of just we replayed it all in the studio, so it's not an actual sample. But I just got I like to get the flavour of records and then kind of just deliver that flavour across the track.
Yeah, and you obviously struck gold in the movie, but in real life as well, because you got such personal scenes with Michael Caine, where it was just the both of you. Was there anything what did you take away? What was the biggest lesson you learnt, would you say, from working with him?
Oh, God, I had so many. I just tried. I just wanted to relish every moment with him, and not bombard him with questions or be too sycophantic when talk about all his amazing movies. Although we did a little bit, just kind of be there as an actor and try and be as generous as I can. And Michael's is obviously quite old, and so we're not able to do quite as many takes as you might do on another film. And so I knew that I had to try and be, as good as I could be in every take in case it was the one they needed to use. You know what I mean? And it's just an amazing experience, Yeah.
All of that. I always like doing something I haven't done before or haven't done recently. Keep changing it and keep mixing it up. Yeah. That's what I love to do. Yeah.
Fishing was harder, actually. It was having to put up with that Herbert Mortimer, for weeks on end. Yeah, we've got another series, so yeah, looking forward to that. Actually, it was a joy to do. It really was. Yeah. Well, Tom Courtenay is really annoyed that we didn't get him on board, so might have to get Tom to do a guest appearance.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and as always, stay tuned for more.
Do you think he's dead?
Let's go. Leave him to pay.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.